What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. So let's start MLB playoffs. Actually, before we get into the actual MLB playoffs games from yesterday, the Angels made a managerial move, continued managerial moves and front office moves in MLB for teams that have been eliminated. Angels are letting go of Ron Washington as well as the interim manager, Ray Montgomery. Ron Washington was only there for 2 seasons. He took a leave of absence in the middle of the season to address some health issues that he was dealing with. He had some sort of heart operation. He's an older guy. He's 73 years old, going on 74. This older guy having a heart problem, having a surgery. He took the rest of the season off. They were playing not terrible baseball on their hand. They were 500 through 80 games, but kind of fell apart after Ray Montgomery took over as the interim manager the rest of the year. They're letting go of both of them. I get Ray Montgomery. They were 32 and 50 under him, I think something like that. But you were playing better under Ron Washington. He was only there for 2 years. You had 9 losses the first year. I'm learning 9 losses this year, but you've been bad for so long. Mike Trout's been to play like twice in his career. One of the biggest travesties in the history of sports, in my opinion, that Mike Trout, one of the greatest players ever, one of the greatest center fielders ever played a game, has almost never been to the playoffs. They have not been to the playoffs since 2014. It's insane. This is the 11th straight season they missed the playoffs. It's absolutely asinine what they've done to Mike Trout. And they had Shohei freaking Tani for a bunch of years too. It's insanity how the guy has been to the playoffs in over a decade. And I'm not really sure what you want Ron Washington to do. Washington was thinking, he decided to walk one on his own or retire, just like, I'm, just not, I think I need a change, or I'm stepping away for a year. And they're like, all right, we want to wait a year to wait for him to come back. So they let him go. And they didn't want to keep Ray Montgomery as the next manager. I'm just like, they fire him because of disappointing finish, but that cannot be on Ron Washington. He was really only the manager for a year and a half. The second half of the year, he was not with the team. And it's simply really not fair to him. He's been around a long time. He was the manager in Texas for 8 years, did a good job there. Won the 2 World Series, had 4 straight 90-win seasons at one point. But he's out in Anaheim. I'm not really sure what they're doing over there, but he is out. The Braves announced that they're moving off Brian Snitker. Look, he's going to still be an advisor within the organization, but he is stepping down as the manager of the Atlanta Braves. He was there for a while, had a great run. He had a slew of division titles there, won the World Series in 2021, but a couple of tough years last year, a lot of injuries, stuck him to the playoffs on the last day of the season. This year was obviously a very disappointing year. Again, a lot of injuries, but also overall did not play well, did not perform. They end up being a below average team. They missed the playoffs, and he is stepping down. I think a change is needed. In Atlanta, they're a bit of a crossroads. You were good for a while. Really good young team. It's a really good organization. You got your championship, but you've kind of regressed every year since. And obviously, next year you got, some older players, guys coming off injuries. What do? And that is to start with a new voice in the dugout as Brian Snitker has stepped down. And the Colorado Rockies GM, Bill Schmidt, is stepping down. He's been with the club since 1999. He's stepping down, in his words, to make room for a new voice to run the baseball operations. He has not done a good job at all. They had the 1 year where they were in the World Series, like this point pushing 20 years ago. You made the playoffs. You won the wild card game, 2018. Since then, you've been a train wreck. And it's been pretty embarrassing. This past year, you had one of the worst seasons ever. You're just awful. Awful, awful, awful. Obviously, they're looking for a new manager as well, assuming they're not keeping the interim manager, pushing out that the GM is stepping down. They're going to have a new voice in the baseball operations department. I really hope for their sake, go out and get yourself a legit baseball operations guys. Don't promote some other schmuck within that god awful organization like they keep doing. Because something needs to change in Colorado because it has just been horrid for several years now. They are arguably the most irrelevant and just overall worst organization and team in all sports. But Bill Schmidt steps down from his president of baseball operations role in Colorado. But moving on, MLB playoffs last night. A lot of exciting action. Tigers beat the Guardians 2-1 in game one. Took a 1-0 series lead. Trick Ball pitched a fantastic game. 7 2/3. Just the one run allowed. Pitched absolutely great. I think he had like 14 strikeouts. He was filthy. Dude was hitting the 101 of his sinker, like 95 pitches deep. He was dominant. Zach McKinstry with a sacrifice squeeze bunt in the seventh inning, right after Devin Williams exited the game to pick up the go-ahead run. Will Vest a 4-out save. Jose Ramirez reaches third on a throwing error by Scuball in the ninth. But with really bad base running error, on the infield ground ball, that's thrown out the plate. That's just terrible, terrible base running, as bad as it gets. I was almost saying, even freaking middle school ball, if you do that, a kid's getting yelled at. Like, I don't know what he was thinking. With one of the elite players of the game, and trust me, he is. What are you doing, my guy? Okay? You either break on contact, make a throw home, figure out your route, for safe or safe, or stay by the bag, don't go, then make him look you back, hopefully it distracts him on throw to first. Keep your head up, maybe a throwing error or something allows you to score. Otherwise, stay at third and don't, get thrown out. Cannot get thrown out like that. Terrible, but Will Vest 4-out save. Tigers hang on to win 2-1. They are actually, by the time I'm filming this, they are about to start. By the time this is live, that game will be over most likely, similar to yesterday. Padres Cubs. Cubs win game one 3-1. You had Matthew Boyd start for the Cubs. 4 1/3 scoreless. Bullpen just in the Padres from there. Brad Calvert gets the save. Nick Pivetta gives up a couple of runs in that one. Cubs pick up the win. Padres bats just kind of died in that one. He back-to-back doubles with Merrill and Bogart taking the third inning. And he had Bogart to third, nobody out. Couldn't get him home from there. That was basically it for the Padres' offensive opportunities. Just nothing the rest of the way. Pitching shuts them down. They take a 1-0 series lead. That's a major letdown if the Padres go all in at this trade deadline and get swept in the first round by the Cubs, who don't have their ace, Cade Horton, for the series. That's going to be a really, really tough break for the Padres. That'll be a major letdown because they gave up pretty much their whole farm system at the trade deadline to improve that ball club, and they were a good team. And if they go down the first round, not winning a playoff game, that's a really, really major disappointment for the San Diego Padres. Going back to the American League, the Red Sox defeat the Yankees in game one at Yankee Stadium in an incredible game. Typical playoff atmosphere. I had like a World Series atmosphere feel to it. Red Sox win 3-1. They take game one. Garrett Crochet, an incredible outing. 7 2/3 from him, threw like 115 pitches, was dominant. Earl Chapman 4-out save. Crazy game. Anthony Volpe was the only run for the Yankees. He had a home run in the third inning. Of course, that was really all Crochet gave up the whole game. And then I got to talk about Aaron Boone. What is wrong with this man? That guy is a bum. So, first of all, why did Jazz Chisholm not start? The guy went 30-30. I don't like Jazz Chisholm. I think he's a douchebag, but 30-30 with 80 RBIs, not even starting. Ben Rice had like 2,500 runs this year. Did not start the game. I don't understand. But Jose Calabro and his 690 OPS is in there. Amin Razar and his 670 OPS is in there. Even Paul Goldschmidt, who went 2 for 4, but, he has a 720 OPS, 10 home runs all season. First of all, he's hitting leadoff, which is weird. I mean, a first baseman hit leadoff. Especially the guy was, 38 years of age. So it's not like he flees the foot anymore. That's weird. And then you have your ace, Max Frier the mound. The Jew was dominant. 6 1/3. He's at 102 pitches, and you pull him for Luke Weaver with the 8 and 9 hitters coming up. Incredible at bat for Cedane Rafaela. 12-pitch walk. And Nick Sogard with a hustle double. Great hustle by Sogard. Proving that he was the right decision by Cora to put him in the lineup. Also, Aaron Judge, he's got to hustle on that ball in the outfield. Kind of lollygag to it. That cannot be a double. Okay, that cannot be a double. You're up 1-0 in the seventh. Difference between that base hit, tying the game, and the lead being gone. Huge difference. He's got to do a better job of getting to that ball and getting that ball in. And then Masataka Yoshida, go ahead, pinch it, 2-run single in the seventh inning. Huge hit for him. He's been red hot down the stretch. Kudos Alex Cora for pushing all the right buttons. The Yankees have bases loaded and nobody out. And 3 straight singles from the top of the order with Goldie, Judge, and Bellinger in the bottom of the ninth. And then Stanton strikes out. A fly out from, I think it was Jazz, which was in his first at bat. Goldschmidt, I thought should have tagged. It wasn't that deep. The throw in wasn't great. What really should have happened, they should have pinch ran from with probably Jason Dominguez. Dominguez probably scores on that. Wouldn't matter. Would have been 3-2, and then Grisham strikes out. But bases loaded, nobody out, and you don't even get on base. That's just embarrassing. Aaron Boone pushed all the wrong buttons. Alex Cora pushed all the right buttons. You know, putting Nick Solard on the lineup. You know, starting Ruff Snyder, having Yoshida come into the game when he did. He gets the big hit. You know, leaving Crochet out there, going right to Chapman. Push all the right buttons. But when Aaron Boone not starting Josh Chisholm, not starting Ben Rice, not running for Goldschmidt, taking Freed out when he did. Terrible, terrible, terrible. They get swept or even lose in this first round to Boston. After going all the way up the deadline, spending what they did in the offseason, he has to be gone. It's been 8 years of this BS for the Yankees. I mean, for as a Mets fan, it makes me laugh. If they get swept, it's making fun of the Mets, I don't have a lot to say. I'm just saying, putting that out there. But he has to be gone to lose in the first round. You cannot lose in the first round to the Red Sox. It is World Series or bust for the Yankees. But all in last year, giving up everything for Juan Soto. You lose in the World Series in just embarrassing fashion. This year, he leaves, goes to the Mets. But you went out and traded for Cody Bellinger, who's had a great year. You went out and signed Paul Goldschmidt. Went out and brought in Max Fried to fortify your rotation. At the deadline, you went all in. Is World Series or bust. American League is not that tough. And you lose in the first round to the Boston Red Sox, your arch rival. A change is going to have to be needed. Because I don't know what else they're going to do. They can do from here. And the Dodgers defeat the Reds 10-5. Take game one. Snell pitches a great game. Green got shelled. Both made a little interesting in that seventh inning, letting up 3 runs, but they get out of it. They handle in 10-5. Reds are just overmatched. You know, it's a great year for them. No one thought they'd make the playoffs going into the year. Kudos to them, but I'm not surprised the Dodgers finished them off today. As they're simply just overmatched in this first round playoff series. Let's talk some football. First off, college football AP Top 25 rankings heading into this week. Heading into, I believe, week 6 for college football. Ohio State remains number 1. They're at 4 now. They're coming off a bye. Oregon is now 2nd in the country. I mean, they ranked actually 1st in the country last year. I mean, they got the door beat off of my house in that playoff game. But big win over Penn State. They're at 2nd. Miami's now 3rd in the country. Ole Miss is the 4th best team in the country. They shoot up to 4th after a huge win over LSU this past week. Ole Miss, 4th best team in the country at 5-0. Oklahoma is now 5th in the country. They're in the top 5 at 4-0. Texas A&M up to 6th in the country. Penn State moves down to 7th. Indiana, the Hoosiers are the 8th best team in the country right now. Texas is at 9th. Alabama shoots up to 10th. Have played better since that tough loss to Florida State in week 1. Texas Tech is ranked 11th at 4-0. And now we're going to get into some of the one-loss teams. Georgia plummets down to 12th in the country after losing Alabama last week. They're at 3-1. LSU is at 4-1. They plummet all the way to 13 after a tough loss to Ole Miss last week. 14 and 15 remain Iowa State and Tennessee. Iowa State's at 5-0. Tennessee's at 4-1. Only losses was in overtime to Georgia. Vanderbilt is 5-0. They are the 16th best team in the country right now. 16th. 17 is Georgia Tech. They remain 5-0. I believe they're the best team in the ACC. Let's see. No. Miami, but right now they are the second best. You got Number 17, Georgia Tech. 18 is Florida State. They plummet down to 18th after a tough overtime loss to Virginia last week. At 19 is Missouri. 5-0, playing good football. At 20th is Michigan. 21st is Notre Dame, trying to hang in there. They've won 2 in a row after 2 really bad losses throughout the year. 22nd is Illinois at 4-1. 23rd is BYU at 4-0. Virginia, welcome to the rankings. They are ranked 24th. And I think they were 24th last week. And Arizona State, welcome to the rankings. They are at 4-1. And they are the 25th team in the country right now. But let's get to game picks. It is Game Picks Wednesday. Let's go. College football, a Friday night game at 10:30 at night. It's going to be West Virginia against number 23 BYU. Give me BYU. They are playing some really good football. Could be a threat in the Big 12 this year. West Virginia is not very good at all. Give me BYU. West Virginia doesn't much of the passing offense. The way you should win, no problem. Into Saturday, the noon slate. We have Kentucky against number 12 Georgia. Give me Georgia to bounce back. They're going to be angry coming off a loss to Alabama, a really tough game. Kentucky's always a team that, because of their running game, can kind of keep these things close. But Georgia's the better team. They should win without too many issues. Number 14, Iowa State against Cincinnati. I'm going to take Iowa State. Cincinnati's played pretty well this year. They are at home. But I like Iowa State a lot. They were in the Big 12 championship last year. They're playing well right now. Not lost a Big 12 game yet. Big game, I think Iowa State comes out on top. Wisconsin is number 20, Michigan. Give me Michigan. I was not saying, this team was going to win 10, 11 games at the beginning of the year. The guy I'm at 8-4, with a freshman quarterback. But Wisconsin isn't great. They're not very good. Give me Michigan. Number 22, Illinois against Purdue. Give me Illinois. They look good so far this year. They're at 4-1 right now. They're playing good football. Purdue's not great. Give me Illinois. Number 7, Penn State against UCLA. Penn State by a lot. UCLA is horrible. They've not won a game so far with either at 0-4. Nico Amaleva has been absolutely terrible. Give me Penn State. Number 9, Texas against Florida. The Penn State game in this game is at 3:30. Give me Texas. I'm shocked they're only favored by 3.5, by 6.5 rather. Arch Manning hasn't looked great, but Florida sucks. That team blows. Give me the Longhorns. They're definitely going to cover that. Number 16, Vanderbilt against number 10, Alabama. This is a big game in the SEC. Alabama loses this. Their chance of getting into the playoff would take a hit. Vanderbilt had that massive upset over Alabama last year. They're 5-0 right now. I'm going to take Alabama now. I like what Vanderbilt's doing. Their quarterback, Paiva, is playing fantastic football. But Alabama has played better these last 3 weeks. Somewhat sold on Ty Simpson, but he's played better. I think Bama, they're favored by 10.5. I think it's a bit of a rough line. Bama might be able to. I'm not familiar with betting at all, but I don't think Alabama covers the spread. I believe that's the right term at least. But I think Alabama wins that game. Boise State against number 21 Notre Dame. Even Notre Dame, Boise State, they haven't played bad, but obviously not the same without Ashton Genty. Give me the Fighting Irish. If they lose that game, might as well suspend the rest of the year because there is zero chance they're getting in. Nebraska is a zero chance they're getting in at this point. Number 24, Virginia against Louisville. I'm going to take Louisville. They're favored by almost a touchdown, which is kind of tough considering they're not ranked and Virginia's at 24th. Virginia's playing some really good football. Huge win over Florida State last week in a crazy overtime game. But I like what Louisville's doing. I'll take Louisville. 4 o'clock, we got Kent State against number 5, Oklahoma. Give me Oklahoma. Kent State is god-awful. John Mateer's playing well. Give me the Sooners to win that game. 7 o'clock, we have got a number 11, Texas Tech against Houston. Give me the Red Raiders. Houston's at 4-0 this year. This is probably going to be their toughest game yet. Big game in the Big 12. I think Texas Tech pulls it out. 7:30, Minnesota against number 1, Ohio State. Ohio State should win, no problem. Minnesota's just going to be overmatched in this game. 7:30. Number 3, Miami against number 18, Florida State. Big game. Should be a really good game, but give me the Hurricanes. They're playing really well. They're 4 now. Carson Beck has overall played pretty well. Florida State's come off a really rough loss. And they were 2-10 last year. No one's got a whole lot out of them. All of a sudden, you beat Alabama in week 1, destroyed 2 bad teams right in a row. But then, you lose to Virginia. So I'm not really sure what Florida State is yet. I think they're a good team, but Miami's really good. I'll take Miami to win, which will be a really good game. And to finish off, Mississippi State against number 6, Texas A&M. Give me Texas A&M, and I think overpower Mississippi State in that one. All right, NFL game picks. Let's get into it. Thursday Night Football, 49ers and Rams. I'm going to take the Rams. The Niners just have too many injuries. Brock Purdy might be hurt again. Ricky Pearsall might be hurt. Still no IU. Kittle's out. Nick Bosa's out. A lot of injuries once again for the 49ers. I lose their second on the round. The Rams improved to 4-1. I pick them to win the division at the beginning of the year. They're playing great. Stafford looks really good. Nakua's balling. Give me the Rams. Sunday slate, we have a London game. Global Goodell. Love his international games. 9:30 in the morning, London. Vikings and Browns. It was announced today that Joe Flacco has been benched. Dylan Gabriel will start this game. As a result, I'm picking the Vikings. I don't think Gabriel's very good. Ending a draft by Cleveland, that's basically a death sentence. Vikings at 2-2. Carson Wentz is hung in there. I do think Myles Garrett will have a field. Like that Vikings offensive line has been really, really bad so far this season. But don't expect a super great game. Carson Wentz against, assuming he's playing, I don't think Tracy McCarthy's coming back, against Dylan Gabriel. Yikes. I think Gabriel will have a lot of trouble. For a low-scoring, messy game, the Vikings pull it out in London. 1 o'clock slate. Raiders and Colts. Give me the Colts. They've played well so far this year. They're 3-1. John Lataro's been running his head off. Jalen Jones' offense looks a lot better. The Raiders, this is just not a good team. They are very bad up front, both sides of the ball. The offensive line is terrible. They don't have much of a pass rush. Give me the Colts in this one. We don't have time to throw. He's actually relatively serviceable. Giants and Saints. Yikes. A freaking toilet bowl. Jackson Dart and Spencer Rattler. I'm going to take the Saints. I think this is their first win. I know the Saints are god-awful. The Giants come up a huge win over the Charter. Dart's first game. Not having Malik Neighbors is a big loss, though. Just Wanda Robinson and Darius Slayton. I expect the Giants to really pound the rock in this game, for sure. Should be a low-scoring game. I don't expect this to be very fun to watch. But Saints are at home. Giants are without Neighbors' first game. I think the Saints pull it out. Cowboys and the New York Jets. Boy. I'm torn with this one. I'm going to take the Jets. I am very pessimistic about this one. I can see that comes off as kind of a homer pick, and I don't like to do that. I promise I don't. I'm very pessimistic with this one. I'm going to take the Jets. This kind of seems like a mirror image of a couple of years ago. Just came in at 0-4, playing really bad. We're missing key players. Cowboys came in not playing great, but, they're not as bad as the Jets. And the Jets snuck away with the win. Going into that game, I kind of feeling the Jets were going to win that game as well. Everyone who picked for Jets that week got laughed at, and then just one was like, oh, wait a minute, you're right. Has that same kind of feel to it. The Dallas can't stop anybody. This offense looked a little bit better last week against Miami. They're a very dumb football team. They absolutely suck. But Dallas isn't great either. No CeeDee Lamb in this game. So George Pickens is definitely a threat. I'm going to take the Jets. I don't know why I am. I have a weird feeling. The Jets, every year, kind of, I go in with just like, this team sucks. Maybe they'll squeeze out a win here or there against a bad team. There's always 1 or 2 games that they win that they shouldn't for no reason. The fact that in the end they end up hurting their draft pick. It's pathetic as this organization is. This feels like that kind of game. Cowboys coming off of, a hard-fought tie against Green Bay. Now they're going to be on the road. They'll still no CeeDee Lamb. Bad defense. It feels like a bit of a trap game for Dallas. So we'll take the Jets. Broncos and Eagles. Give me Philly. Bo Nix played great last week. Bengals also have a horrendous defense. Don't think he'll be able to do that against Philly. Dobbins has played well, but Philly's run defense is tough. They're playing good football and they'll have passing offense. Numbers-wise, it's looked pretty porous, but watch the games. It hasn't looked that bad. They're just a run-first team. They just ran the ball a lot this year. Probably did the same last year. And you have Saquon Barkley. I don't blame you. It's in Philadelphia. Give me the Eagles. Germany undefeated. Dolphins, Panthers. Another game. Another toilet ball. I'm going to take Carolina. Two doesn't have Tyreek Hill. He's out for the year with a knee injury. Jalen Waddle's already the only weapon you have besides Devon Achane at running back. Carolina doesn't have much of a defense. But it's two pretty bad football teams. Bryce Young is not playing up, but Miami can't really stop anybody either. I will take the Carolina Panthers in a pretty messy game. Texans and Ravens. So it does not look like the Ravens will have Lamar Jackson in this game. Okay, he is not expected to play in this game. Just looking up something real quick about this game. I don't think he's playing. He might miss the next 3 games, actually. And that means Cooper Rush would start for the Baltimore Ravens. As a result, I'm going to take the Texans. I don't think this team can do it. Look, the Texans' offense has looked like a train wreck. That offensive line is maybe the worst in the league. Stroud has not played well. But Cooper Rush, he's not very good. And, that defense can't stop anybody. So I know the Texans, they can't run the ball. Obviously, Mixon is hurt. Chubb's washed. What's his name? Will Parks, whatever his name is. Big game last week. The only real weapon you have is Nico Collins, who's a stud. But he's the only real weapon you have. Schultz is pretty good at tight end. But, with Lamar Jackson, they're finding ways to lose games. Without him, good luck. I have the Texans sneak by, get their second win, and then Ravens 1-4, and we'll be in some deep trouble. 405 slate, Titans and Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals. This Titans team is so bad. Kimore is screwed. The running game doesn't look great. The offense is a train wreck. Ryan Callahan is a joke. I heard a lot of coaches are starting to get a little bit worried about their job security. It is a mess over there. Arizona isn't great either. They're at 2-2. I think they're on a very mediocre team. Kyler Murray is very overrated. He's not that good. Him and Marvin Harrison not been on the same page so far this year, but I think Arizona pulls this one out. Tigers are so bad. Bucks and Seahawks. This should be a good game. Two good teams in the NFC. I'm going to take Seattle in this one, actually. I'm a little surprised they're favored on my 3.5. I think Tampa will be favored. I think Tampa's a good football team. But you have some injuries on the offensive line. You don't think you're going to have Mike Evans yet again. So that's something to look out for. Seattle's got a good defense. They're playing well. Sam Darnold's look good. Tampa's a little bit banged up. Good game. I'll take Seattle. 425, Lions, Bengals. Oh my. Give me a Lion. This game should not be that close. Jake Browning freaking sucks. That line is horrible. I think the Lions will get after him. And the Bengals defense is horrid. The Lions might drop 50 points again. This game is going to be ugly. I think they definitely covered them on 9.5. Give me the Lions. I don't care that they're on the road. If anyone can prepare a team for a road win, it's Dan Campbell, and the Bengals also suck. Commanders, Chargers. Also 425. Ooh, this is another game I could go either way. Expect to be very close. I'm going to take the Chargers. Jane Gales hasn't medically cleared. Looks like he's going to play. Not so sure about Terry McLaurin now. I'm not too sure he's going to play. I would lean that he does not play. Not having him out there is definitely going to be a loss for Jay Daniels. I don't really trust Deebo Samuel at this point in his career to really take over an offense anymore. So give me the Chargers. They're coming off a tough loss to the Giants. I think they bounce back. Sunday Night Football, Patriots and Bills. Big AFC East matchup. Give me the Bills. Drake May's played really well. I don't think the Bills defense is great, but Bills are still a great team. I think they're the best team in the NFL right now. You're at 4-0. Josh Allen is blowing out. James Cook's been running all over the people. The Patriots defense finally looked good last week. It's also against the Carolina Panthers, who are god-awful. It should be a pretty good game, but Bills at home. Give me the Bills. And Monday Night Football, thankfully, there's only one game. But the Falcons, the Bears, the Packers, and the Steelers are on bye this week. Monday Night Football, Chiefs and Jaguars. This is a good game. I'm going to take the Chiefs. They have not looked great so far. Jaguars are 3-1, playing good football. I'm sure they're all hyped up, with Liam Cohen going up to Robert Saleh. I'm sure it's the best idea because Saleh would probably close one a lot of coaches, but nothing happened, thankfully. I'm going to take the Chiefs. Xavier Worthy looked good in his return. He's got another week under his belt. Now, they've looked good defensively, at least. The Islanders are starting to look better. They played well against the Ravens last week. The Ravens' defense is horrible. Jaguars overall played well, but still, there are still some issues. They didn't play that tough of a schedule. Toughest one they have was San Francisco last week, who's banged up. Brian Thomas has been a ghost. Travis Hunter hasn't really produced at all. But I'll take the Chiefs to win this game. To finish up, let's talk Monday Night Raw from 2 days ago. Started off with Rhea Ripley and her cutting a promo. She called out Asuka and Kairi Sane. Sky comes out, and the Rhea's like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Yo's like, they're family to me. You gotta hold off. And then we all know what happened. Obviously, Asuka and Kairi Sane came out, and this led to a backstage moment with Io Sky basically crying, still covered in the mist from Asuka. Kairi Sane saying that we can still be a family. Io Sky was like, get away from me, and she hands Io Sky the picture of the three of them from a while back, and then eventually Rhea ran into her. Io Sky was like, let's have a match with them. Rhea said, are you sure? She said yes. So we'll see that crown jewel. We'll have Rhea and Io Sky against the Kabuki Warriors. This storyline has been absolutely fantastic. Been a nice way to ease Asuka back into it. She only returned a couple of months ago. It's been a nice little change for Rhea Ripley. She's been around the world title for so long. You need to give a change. We had an Intercontinental Championship, a Dominic Mysterio against Rusev. You saw Finn JD kind of left him to his own devices. And with the low blow behind the referee's back, Dom wins. I like what Dom's doing. He's basically almost a babyface at this point. People are cheering him on, but he's still, doing these heel tactics, trying to, win by count out and low blows. So Dom retained the Intercontinental Championship. Of course, also he's the AAA Mega Champion as well. That was a solid match. At some point, he's going to turn face. I'm assuming Finn and JD are going to turn on him at some point. But we'll see if I don't think the storyline's over. I think Rusev will still go after him. It's Bayley against Raquel Rodriguez. Backstage before the match, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria continued to go at it. Bayley was like, yeah, I get why you're upset, but I can't do this to value. And Lyra was like, you're on your own. And then the match happens. Raquel with help from Roxanne Perez. They got, an attack after the match. And then Lyra Valkyria came out. So this storyline continues. I like what they're doing with Bayley. It's like kind of like, all the voices in her head, from her heel character to her really babyface character to the Romano character. I think it will culminate her turning heel eventually. But I do like what they are doing. She doesn't need to turn heel again. Then you had a Cody and Seth Rollins promo. That was fantastic. This build's been great for their match. You had Ellen Knight against Kofi Kingston in a singles match. Ellen Knight win. That was kind of a whatever match. Obviously, they had a little run in backstage with Adam Pearce. And moving on backstage, Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupree got into it, and then they will fight this coming week on Raw. There's from the Rollins and Cody from a lot of big words being said. Coach, we shook my hand at WrestleMania 40. Rollins said, "I was never your friend. You were the lesser of two evils," which really cut deep. They had AJ Styles and Dragon Lee against the Los Americanos, the two smaller Americanos. Styles picks up the win. The pinfall victory, of course, he's going to be fighting John Cena at Crown Jewel. Unfortunately, he kind of needed to go over somebody because Cena's not going to be there to help hype up their match, unfortunately. Really is a shame. And maybe there was a tornado tag team match with the Usos against the Vision, Bron Breakker, and Bronson Reed. The Usos win with the help from returning Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is back. Look, the Roman Reigns returning to save the Usos from the Vision is as overplayed as hell. But boring as heck. But same thing every time. That being said, I like the going with Jey Uso right now. The storyline has been a lot of fun to watch. Saw at the end, Jey and Roman talking it up, and Holly and Jimmy Uso kind of looking a little jealous, little irked. We'll see where this goes. That's Monday Night Raw. That's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, so long. Have a great day.